Welcome to episode 1 of Car Market Meta. So today we're going to be talking about the Chevy Corvette, more specifically the 8th generation C8, and more specifically again, we're going to be talking about the move from front engine to rear engine. So as I'm sure most of you guys know, the Corvette for the entirety of its existence has been a front-engined, big-engined, fast American powerhouse. Now it hasn't necessarily been a muscle car. It's definitely been more in tune with the sporty, handling kind of racing driver's car type of deal than the Camaro or the Mustang, more straight line cars. So as we can see, and as I'm sure everybody already knows, there have been rumors about the C8 being a mid-engined Corvette. So they're going to throw the engine behind the driver, but in front of the rear axle, which is what mid-engined means. Rear-engined being the engine behind the rear axle, hanging off the back, like in a 911. Speaking of 911s, what we're going to be talking about today is the potential 993 effect that we see, which I will get into a bit later, specifically what that is, coming over to the C7, which is the previous generation, the last front-engined Corvette, if that is, Chevrolet decides to make it the last front-engine Corvette. They go through with the C8 mid-engine plan, and that's that for the rest of the production of the Corvette, which is, to be determined, but this is a meta discussion anyway. It's all very theoretical. So the 993 effect was when Porsche decided to stop producing the 911 with an air-cooled engine, and they moved over to water cooling. Now, similarly to the front engine to mid-engine move, we're talking about a mechanical, physical advantage, right? There's a reason Chevy is thinking about moving the engine to the back of the car. Everybody with these high-powered, performance-oriented cars, they're putting the engine in the back. Ferrari does it, Lamborghini does it. We're talking about weight distribution, grip. They're rear-wheel drive most of the time. They are talking about all-wheel drive, but regardless, it's a mechanical advantage that we're looking at. And the drawback in both cases, so water cooling, definitely a mechanical advantage. We're talking about a drawback in culture, a drawback in definitely more so in the purist league of these cars, but regardless, the move from the air-cooled engine to the water-cooled engine saw a massive increase in the values of these air-cooled cars, right? These are the last air-cooled cars. And so this is the 993 model. We'll hop over to Car Gurus, where I have brought up a similar value, right? So we were just going through, we're on the 20th page of priced low to high nationwide search, and everything before this has been, I'll show you guys, it's all 996 models, which is the model after the 993, right? This is the first water-cooled car, the break from the air-cooled culture, and these are all of the cheapest 911s. So I was just going over, right, this is also priced low to high nationwide search, and the cheapest one we're looking at $36,000, and we've got an automatic transmission, 71,000 miles, which I don't know, I'm not completely certain what that means on a 911 like this, how long the engines last before they need a major service, or if they just blow up at a certain point. I'm not 100% certain, but you can see with this car, I don't know if that spoiler is stock. The wheels definitely look a little odd to me. I don't know if they had that twist style in 97. I'm sure they did, because that's when they were doing the Boxster as well. So the wheels could be stock. So it's hard to say if this car was messed with at all. But anyway, as we can see, automatic transmission, fairly undesirable. But it commands this major premium because it's the last air-cooled model. It's the 993. So we go over to the 996. We'll grab any of these. We're talking about, okay, here we go. This is kind of unique, but it's a 4S, so all-wheel drive, a little bit speedier, and let's see, we're looking at 36,000 miles. This is an automatic. But anyway, for example, half the miles, newer car, water cooled, definitely faster, all-wheel drive, all of these advantages. However, it's considerably cheaper. And we will see this throughout many of these cars, right? Convertible, which it's just a matter of opinion. 48,000 miles, less miles, manual transmission in this case, and it's not the S, it's not all-wheel drive, so fairly similar. However, we're looking at the manual transmission, which is definitely desirable, and it's still considerably cheaper, considerably newer. It will probably last longer, it's definitely a lot faster, but we still see this premium for the air-cooled 911. So the question becomes, are we going to see the 993 effect become the C7 effect? Is the last of the front-engined Corvette? Are we going to, in 5 years, in 10 years? Now, this is all based on the assumption that, or not the assumption, but the idea that Chevy will indeed do the mid-engine change and stick with it. If this were to happen, will we see a 993 effect? Will we see this disproportionate and debatably unnecessary change, increase in price rather, for the C7, or is the fact that there are so many more C7s than there were 993s, is that going to cancel out the effect entirely? Are we going to see the standard drop in price when the C8 comes out for the C7? They're going to become less valuable until in 15 years they're antique, or 30 years they're antique, and then the values start rising, or there are just so many of them that nobody's going to care? How does the Chevrolet community feel about this? There's lots to talk about, and I would love to hear about your guys' opinions in the comments. Chevy guys, let me know what you think. Porsche guys, chime in. I'm really curious to see what the general consensus is, because at the end of the day, the people are who decide the values. It's all about who will buy what car for what amount of money, and that's why this car can be set for $36,000. It's because this is what this guy thinks somebody out there will pay for it. And that's why this one is only $33, because that's just what the market or the people have decided. So let me know what you think down in the comments section, and thanks for watching.